Hi, folks. Mr. Coleman here, giving you some updates so you have a better sense of what application materials need to be submitted and by whom. And then I'm going to let you know how you request materials from your counselor via the W.I.N surveys. So here are the primary questions today. What do you submit? What does your teacher submit? What does your counselor submit? And then we'll get into the actual request process. So first, what do you send when we're thinking about your applications, your college applications, your scholarship applications? So first, you submit your college application. That includes your essays, and you'll probably be submitting that through either the Common App, maybe the institution website, or it might need to be sent hard copy. And if that's ever the case and you need help sending things hard copy, please reach out to your counselor and we can help coordinate that. Also, please keep in mind you're responsible for sending your test scores, either your SAT scores if you have some available, or ACT scores, and you need to reach out directly to College Board or to ACT via their websites to make sure that your test scores are sent. Again, your counselor at Jones does not send test scores on your behalf. And then lastly, if you are applying for scholarships and you have the scholarship application or scholarship essays, you will send that, and that will probably be via the scholarship organization website. And in some instances, they like materials mailed in hard copy. And as I said before, if you need help and support doing that, please let your counselor know. When it comes to what your teachers send on your behalf, they're actually responsible for two key items. Their teacher recommendation, all right? That's why you ask them if they'll write for you. And in a separate video, I show you how to formally request that they write for you via Naviance. But they're going to send that recommendation, likely overwhelmingly. They're probably going to be sending that through Naviance, maybe the institution website, or in rare instances, they'll need to send something hard copy, and your counselor coordinates with them to do so. And then if you're applying for a scholarship that requires, a teacher rec, your teacher may end up sending a scholarship form. And again, they'll probably send that through the scholarship organization website or hard copy coordinating with your counselor. Now, we're going to shift into what your counselor is responsible for. Okay, it's a bit more extensive. So when it comes to your college applications, we send your high school transcript. That's freshman, sophomore, and junior. At this stage in the year, we're sending your high school transcript that reviews your grades from freshman year through junior year. Okay. Later in the year, and we'll talk about it closer to that point, we'll likely send the transcript for the end of first semester. And then once you decide on a college or institution, assuming that you're going to college, once you decide on a college or university, we'll send a final transcript after you complete the full year. We also send what's called a secondary school report. That report gives a little bit more inside information on our school, how many students are in the graduating class, GPA information, highest GPA in the class, whether or not we don't rank for the record, and information like that. We'll have our counselor recommendation form. Many of the colleges and universities that you apply to will want the counselor recommendation. That might require a form and a letter from us. The application fee waiver, again, if you qualify for free or reduced lunch, you are eligible for a fee waiver. For Common App schools, you need to select that in your Common App. Again, if you have any questions about the fee waivers, feel free to reach out to your counselor. We'll also send your course schedule. Okay, that's why it's very important that we have a clear sense of where your courses stand. And after we start submitting materials on your behalf, if your course schedule changes for any reason, we would need to explain that to your colleges and universities that you've already applied to. And then if you apply to a scholarship program, we'll likely need to send a scholarship form on your behalf. And just like your teachers, we might navigate through the scholarship organization website or send it hard copy. But for most of those materials listed, that's overwhelmingly going to be going through Naviance. Maybe it'll be going through the institution's website, if they're not a Common App school or if they're not in a school that is affiliated with Naviance, linked to Naviance, or under extremely rare circumstances, we might send that hard copy. But so you have a sense, okay, what you send, all right, what your teacher sends, and then what your counselor sends. Between what your teacher sends and what your counselor sends, overwhelmingly, we're likely going to be sending things via Naviance, which is, again, why it's so incredibly important that you link your Naviance and your Common App accounts, because we don't have the option of sending anything without that happening first. So then the big question is, based on all of the things that you need from your counselor, we've already talked about how you request a letter of recommendation from your teachers. Well, how do you get the materials from your counselor? And that's a great question. I'm glad you asked. That brings us to this. This is the What I Need. We call it the W.I.N College Scholarship Request Survey. Okay? So this is the Google form that you are going to submit to your counselor. Okay, each counselor will have their own version of this that lets your counselor know specifically for colleges and universities that you're applying to or scholarship programs of the materials that we just discussed. What does your counselor need to submit and when? Okay, a few things to be very clear on. You only complete this form for up to 10 schools or scholarships at a time. And all of the scholarships or colleges that you're including on this form must have the same application due date. If you're applying to different schools with different due dates, different scholarships with different due dates, you need to submit a different survey per date. Okay? If you say, you have 20 schools for November 1st, well, you can only use this form for up to 10 schools. So that means you would have to submit 2 different surveys. Okay? So I'm going to walk you through the form briefly. Pretty straightforward here. You put in your first name, your last name, your ID number. And then this section here is going to give you some really important information that I strongly encourage you to read carefully. Okay? So now that we're in the school year, if you have any application deadlines that fall before October 14th, you do not fill out this form, okay? You need to reach out to your counselor directly and let them know what you need no later than Monday, September 21st. Okay, so you don't fill out this form. You email your counselor directly and you let them know what you need, where you need it to go, and we'll make that happen for you. All right. But if you have a due date before October 14th, you need to reach out to your counselor to let them know by Monday, September 21st. Okay. Now, this form comes into play specifically starting with any application deadlines starting October 15th. Okay, so if you have an application or applications due between October 15th and November 6th, you need to submit this form, all right, to your counselor by Thursday, October 1st. That gives us enough time to process your requests and make sure we're able to get the information to your schools or your scholarship programs in a timely manner. And to help us do that, all right, once that deadline, that October 1st deadline hits, after 5 p.m., we close down this form until the 16th of October. All right. So we close it down. You cannot continue to submit materials to us in that time because that's when we're processing all of your materials that need to be sent for your schools with deadlines between October 15th and November 6th. When it comes to any applications due between November 7th and December 6th, you actually need to submit your W.I.N surveys to us by Monday, November 2nd. And just like before, we'll shut down our surveys at 5 p.m. on the 2nd, and we'll reopen them on the morning of November 16th. Okay? And then we have our last call for applications, specifically college applications, that's due, anything due that has an application due date after December 6th. You need to submit your W.I.N surveys to your counselor by Tuesday, December 1st. Okay, that includes anything for the rest of the entire school year. Okay, so we have these deadlines set up in a way to make sure that we can get through your materials in a timely manner, make sure we're able to submit things on time for you. There's often the question of, well, if I'm ready to submit my applications way before the application deadline. Is that okay? Can my counselor submit it all super early? Actually, since we have so many students that we're working with, our primary guarantee is that we'll submit things by the deadline specifically. We likely will not be able to commit to submitting the things early. And just so you're aware, you can submit your application materials early, and we send our stuff separately, and that's totally okay. Colleges always say that the most important thing that needs to be in is the student application. That's in your realm of influence and control. You control when that happens. All right. A lot of different things may come up, things might happen. They tend to be more flexible with the teachers and counselors than they are with you because you control whether or not you submit your application on time. Okay. And then just so we're clear, we have our last call for college applications on December 1st. But when it comes to your scholarship programs, if you have other scholarships that you're applying to, late in December or January, February, etc., we will continue to allow you to submit WIN surveys for scholarships. Our only request is that you submit a WIN survey to us at least 2 weeks prior to the deadline for that scholarship application. Okay? So, as I said before, all of the colleges or scholarships that you mention on this form must have the same due date, different due dates, different forms. And then we go through, you can submit or put in up to 10 different scholarships or colleges. You put in the name of the college, and then you say specifically what you need to be sent for you. The high school transcript, recommendation letter, maybe the secondary school report. If it's a scholarship and it has a separate form, scholarship form, and if it does have a separate form, just make sure that you email that form to your counselor in advance before you submit the survey. And then if you need your course schedule sent, if you need an application fee waiver sent, or if you need us to send the JCP school profile. At this point, you might be asking, well, how do I know what my colleges universities want sent? You can always check if you Google the school name and admissions requirements, that should take you to the website page where it shows the admission requirements. If it's a Common App school, Common App will tell you on the My Colleges tab, it'll tell you specifically under that school exactly what they need. Okay, a lot of different ways to figure out specifically what that school needs, but it is your responsibility to figure that out. And through this form, let your counselor know specifically what you need. Okay. And as I said, you can do that for up to 10 different colleges or scholarships. And then at the end of the document, at the end of the form, one question: is there anything else that I need to know before I submit these materials for you? All right. And there you have it. That is the WIN sheet document. All right. If you have any additional questions about it, be sure to ask your counselor when you see them for senior seminar on either Monday, September 14th or Tuesday, September 15th. And that's it for now. Take care, folks. Bye.